First job back and I'm already going to get wet feet, you know. This might be a welly job. Basically, this went down over Christmas because the pumps were screeching. I think it's got a big leak on the system. It's coming out down there somewhere. You can't even really see it. It's open. It's an open vented system. Don't want to get wet feet. I've got a wet foot now. Yeah, these pumps were screeching. One of the other lads came out to it and they said there's water just pouring out from the ductwork. So yeah, it's going to be a challenging one. I think that's all 2-inch. That's all 2-inch steel. That one there that somebody's written vent on, I think that's cold feed. That 28. If it is the vent, it shouldn't have a valve on it. But you can hear water trickling. So obviously the tanks must be up there. It's a bit hard to get around it because the water's about 2.5 inches deep. But the pipes just disappear through under there, so I really need to get through there and have a look. But one thing you've got to watch on these jobs is there's going to be asbestos in that ductwork, so the lagging could be asbestos, the actual ducts, if it's ducted, could have asbestos lids on it. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. And obviously jobs like this, it's obviously difficult to price if they want to price, because you don't know what you're going to find. All that iron pipe will be like onion skin, so it's just going to peel off. So yeah, I'll have to have a bit of investigation, see what we saw. But yeah, you can definitely hear water running, and obviously that pump's already been changed. Well, it's had a couple of pumps in it, hasn't it? That pump's been done. That pump's been done. I mean, that's a really old one. And then we've got that, which feels to be running. To be fair, it just feels to be running. That pump feels to be working. The complaint is actually no heating, but to be fair, if it's got a big leak on the system, it ain't going to have any heating at the top floor, because I would say it's empty in the rads. So I'll get that one back in there. So all the pipes are hot, boiler's just fired back in as well. So it looks like we've got a fluid dilution system on this as well. So air's being drawn in, that'll be interlocked in, and that's the flue out. I don't know what that pump does. That might just be like a shunt pump or something. To be fair, that pump's red hot. That pump maybe isn't working. Nah, that pump's goosed. That one there's goosed. But it's probably been goosed a while. That's not such an issue though, because it's a standard pump. I don't know what I'll have to have a look at the pipe work, see what that one's actually doing, but it ain't working. There might just be something leaking on this. I know I probably spilt a bit of water. Nah, that's running down. So it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. That has been leaking at some point, because the pipe's gone all funny, but I don't think that's enough water to cause what we're hearing here. I'll have a good look anyway, see if I can see any leaks. That cold feed is constant. It's so cold as well. So yeah, it's definitely losing a lot of water somewhere. Trouble is, it will eventually knacker the boiler and the pumps up as well. So I'll have to see if I can get through into the building. It's all flats, it's all communal, it's all like communal heating. This is like the main boiler room, and then there's flats all off it. So I'll have to see if I can get in and see what's going on underneath. It's probably all in ducts and then comes up, but yeah, it's not going to be an easy one. As I say, I've just got obviously circuits that go off up and across, that probably feeds the flats that way. I imagine that galv one at the top, that 1.25" one, will be the vent, and that will be the cold feed, because that drops onto the return at the bottom. So that's why they put a valve on it. Somebody's labelled it up wrong, I think. And then obviously stuff's been jigged around there at some point anyway. But yeah, we need basically, I've rung the warden up, see if we can get in the flats, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do anything anyway today, because if they're in manholes, I can't go lifting them without an asbestos survey, because it's likely to be asbestos over the top or on the lagging. So yeah, they've got a bit of a problem here, and obviously the upstairs ones are losing all the water out of the rads, because obviously it's leaking downstairs. I think the downstairs is working, but the upstairs they've got nothing. But you know, you can only do what you can do on some jobs. So it's going to be you know, a fairly big one to sort, and it just depends on the condition of the rest of the pipework as well. Because say iron, this has probably been in 60 years, probably longer, it just falls to pieces. So yeah, we'll have to have a look. I've just switched the boilers off. I don't know if the camera picks up the noise now, the cold feed filling. Can you hear it? So that's basically what it's losing. Yeah, it's pouring out somewhere. It's pouring out somewhere. It must be through there, because all that pipe at that side goes above, and then there's a big long wing that goes all the way along. So it goes that way and then all the way along. And I imagine the feeds are coming up. You can actually just see down here the first leg of the radiator going up. You can see that 1/2 inch one. Well, you maybe can't, but there's a 1/2 inch one. So there must be a rad on the other side of that. So somewhere along the length of that building, them pipes are. This is when the boiler don't come back on now. It should do. The fan's got to start first. So the fan will start, so it's interlocked into the boiler, and then the boiler will kick in. Pipes come outside, run along and then into that other block. But we're getting a big hot spot here. I think I've got that job sussed out. The pipes come out the boiler room, underneath the laundry room, go across the courtyard, and then across. They run across one of the flats and then up. So the only place it can be leaking is underneath that section. I think it's leaking outside. I'm getting a massive hot spot in the courtyard, but the problem is with iron, it's the condition of the rest of the pipe work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend replacing that section. It's all like York stone outside as well, so it'd be a bit of a nightmare to lift up. But what I'm going to do is recommend replacing that section of pipe work. Obviously, when we get it lifted up, we can see if there's any asbestos. We'll get a proper survey done, and then we'll go from there. That's all we can do. I think it's been leaking a long while, that as well. So yeah, I'm actually going to call back later to meet the manager, because it was just one of the other people that let me in. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do on that one, just sort of get an action plan, because obviously they're saying it's like January, it's freezing cold. Obviously all the radiators are just full of air because it's just constantly leaking. So yeah, sometimes you can only do your best with jobs, and obviously you can only sort of fix what you can find, but obviously that one's not that simple. Next job is just a no heating call, so I'll give the customer a ring and we'll go and have a look at that. This job, I've just changed the thermocouple on it because the old thermocouple had completely burnt through. It's still not going on to main fire. I think they turned the gas off for some reason. Let's just do a safety check on that. I'll just blow that thermocouple out, pilot light out. The gas valve should click off. Before we go any further, it should click in a second. There you go, it clicked. Right, so that's fine. So that shut the gas off. It might be that it's an issue with the programmer or the 3-port, but for some reason they turned the gas off because the cooker was staying on. But I don't know. We'll make sure we've got a demand on the programmer. I'll check switch live inside the boiler and see if we're getting anything back. I've isolated the power. That's our switch live coming back. So we'll check to see if we've got any power on that. With the tester, probably won't be able to do it one-handed, but yeah, that's live in there again now, so I'll turn that back off. We'll check to make sure we've got power, and then we'll work it from there. Trying to work one-handed, but we've got nothing on switch live, which tells me it's going to be external control, either 3-port or programmer. Now the EPH programmer is direct swap over on these, so I've got one that I test in the van, so I might just switch that programmer across, or we'll have a look at the 3-port. It's going to be one of the two. So we've just got a standard Y plan here. So it comes up, that's boiler flow through the air sep. That one's cold feed, that one's vent. Through the pump going that way into the 3-port. So that one does hot water, that one does heating. 3-port is open, but it don't mean to say it's not working. So we check to make sure we've got power in there. It's either going to be 3-port or programmer. Them are a straight swap for them Danfoss programmers, if you didn't know. Them EPH A27s, they do fit. Tell you one thing I didn't do over Christmas, and that was tidy my van out. Can't even find my electrician screwdriver. I've also got a Honeywell, a Danfoss 3-port head if we need it. This one was dead easy to change because it was already on a Regan 5-way adapter. So yeah, we can get all the heating back on, get all the hot water back on. We should be good. Flick it on, give it a demand for heating in a second. So that should come on. Once the 3-port actuates, it will come on. It'll take a few seconds. There we go, boiler struck up, so it just needs to do my safety checks on that. Yeah, we should be good to go. Got to put all this cupboard back on because I couldn't get the case off the boiler without taking the cupboard down. If you're ever struggling to get your screw on the end of your screwdriver, get a bit of jet blue on it. It makes your screw stick on. Worst bit of the job getting this case back on. A bit of jet blue on your screwdriver. It was a long while on that job, yeah. I spent half an hour putting the kitchen back together. Come on. Yeah. Well, I'm just checking functionality, so as soon as I turn the room start up, the boiler should fire back in. Which it has. Obviously the 3-port needed to open, so yeah, we're good. I'm probably just going to leave the heating on. Might just leave it on. I don't know what to do for the best sometimes. Right, that's got that guy's heating all back on. Apologies, I didn't get as much footage as I'd like. I was just super busy today. I've actually just called back round because I spoke to the manager of where that leak was, and they said just crack on with it. So the lads sort of lifted the slabs up. It didn't actually take them long to get it up, and the pipes split. I'll quickly show you footage of that in the next segment, and then we've got to get straight back to it because we've got 3 more jobs to look at today. They're all horrible looking jobs as well, but we'll just crack straight on with it. Just busy. A little bit of a progress update on this one. The lads have been here and they've lifted these slabs up. It was all ducted. These have been replaced recently because it's not asbestos slagging, it's like rubber. But what's happened there is the lagging was missing around the pipe clip, and I would say rainwater's gone through the slab and just corroded that section, but you can get your hand through that section. So I'm hoping to cut it over there, but I'll have to get some bits ordered and we'll be back. This one I've been called to is just no hot water. It's just on a vented heat race radiator over the top. So there's the tank in here and then there's just an element in the bottom. Sometimes, normally on these, it's the element that's gone, but we can try resetting it. We can test it and just see what goes on. The element doesn't look like it's been leaking or anything like that. So yeah, we'll have a look at it. We'll try resetting it. There's a little overheat reset on these, and we'll test power. That one there is your thermal cutout temperature. It's set on around 80. It does say to set it to 85. And then that's your control stat, which there's no numbers on that one, but it should be stored at 60. Right, that's another job crossed off the list. You get quick in and out jobs like that, but they all need doing. What I've done is I've logged the details of that unit, so if it does trip out again next time, I'll come back with the element and the stats. It all checked out okay, it's all warming up. Obviously I didn't stand there fully for the whole lot to heat up, but I think it'll be okay. I've got 2 more jobs to get to today. One's a block urinal, I hate them. I'll have to just go and have a look. I've picked up some new traps anyway, so if they're blocked I'll just change the traps on this one. I'm not knocking them out in the minging. And then the next one is a priority job. Basically the toilets aren't flushing on a job. I think they're probably blocked. Again, another minging job, but I've got to get there before 5, before the place shuts. But you can only be in one place at a time and do one job at a time. So yeah, we'll crack straight on, get to these urinals because I'm only round the corner, and then we'll go and have a look at the toilets last. I get some glamorous jobs in this trade. I'm just going to change that trap and we'll see how bad the pipe is. Yeah, pipe's not great either. Lovely. Hopefully it's not all in the ground. The ground doesn't look too bad, but these pipes don't just knock out. Don't think I've got any push fit on the van, otherwise I'd change it. I'll have a look. It's having a new trapper on this one though. It's having a new bit of pipe. See, they're not too bad. But the pipe's blocked. I ain't cleaning the trap out, just putting it on. You know, you ring and you wash your thing. Right, just make sure they're tight. It is brand new, it just gets used in the van, sits in the van. I want to get the water back onto it and give it a go. Get yourself plenty of water down the urinal. Make sure we've got no leaks. It's going down a tree. I did actually get a bit of a rod and shove it down that way to pipe in the ground as well. Then want to work on water pressure, so when you open the tap it will let a little bit of water in. You can adjust it with an Allen key on top, but it seems to be filling up when I'm running the tap, so it's probably working. Now I'm happy with that, it's going down an absolute treat, there's no leaks on it. As I say, they just get blocked in the trap, but I'm not cleaning that out because it stinks. I've changed the pipe, shoved it down the ground. I think it goes into a 4-inch lower down. So it's about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch and a half and then into the ground. Yeah, should be alright that one. Right, that's another one done off the list. Not the most glamorous job, but somebody's got to do it, and at the end of the day it's all money. I'm not going to waffle on too long because I need to get straight on to the next. A little bit under pressure today, just with the volume of work after Christmas. But yeah, one more job, just block toilets, so we'll go and have a look at that. I think this is just blocked on this corner. See, it's all clear there. It's just paper. I used to be a plumber. There's not a lot in it. It's just build up, isn't it? Good job, because I only bought 3 rods with me. I'll give the toilet a flush. I say they were really slow draining, but I think it was just a build up on that corner. Another one in here. There she goes with a wallop. I don't know what that one is. I'll have a look. It's actually blocked on this manhole. Solid in the bottom. It's fairly deep and all. Trying to find out which way it goes. Not good. That last job was a little bit of a fail. I couldn't get it unblocked. I did rod all the way down, but it dropped into the road. I think the actual drain in the road is blocked. If it is, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do with that anyway. So what I've done is I've rang it back to the office and just said, look, you're gonna have to get a jetter out, because they weren't kicking off. Obviously, they just wanted the toilets sorting so they can flush the toilets, which is completely understandable. But even the jetter is not going to be able to unblock the road. It would be an angling water thing. So yeah, it's getting on a bit now. It's actually been a really hectic day today. I know a couple of the jobs have been really quick. But yeah, you can only do one job at a time, and you can only be in one place at once. I'm going to head back to the office, do some quotes, and yeah, that's probably going to be the end of the video. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike, and we'll catch you all next week. Just on my way back, apparently the whole village is underwater, so I'm hoping the house ain't got flooded. Apparently the pub's got a foot of water in it, but I have to go and have a look. Hopefully I'm not flooded. As you can see, it's dark and it's raining. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to show you where I live, like, but hopefully we're alright. There's a lot of water. That farm's completely flooded. Hey mate, you alright?
Yeah, just go as really slow as you can, mate,
yeah,
because it's just pushing all the water into people's houses and flooding them out.
Yeah, no bother, mate. Alright.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, take care. Apparently the road's completely flooded. Trying not to push it into people's houses.